At my job interview, the receptionist pulled me aside and said, "The last 3 people who got this position all quit on the same day." "What do you mean the same day?" I stared at Amy, the receptionist, who was nervously pulling me toward the break room. She whispered, "3 different people got hired for this position in the last 6 months. Rachel in March, Tom in May, Jessica in July. All lasted exactly 3 weeks, then quit on a Friday and never came back." Amy showed me their LinkedIn profiles. "Look at their updates. All 3 posted identical messages, pursuing new opportunities that better align with my values. Word for word. Posted within an hour of each other on their last days." "That's not coincidence," I said. "That's coordination." Before Amy could explain more, HR called my name, but she grabbed my arm. "Pay attention to what they actually ask you to do. The job says data analyst, but none of them were analyzing data. And if they ask you to sign additional paperwork after you're hired, read everything carefully." The interview went well. They offered me the position on the spot, which should have been a red flag. Their questions focused on my comfort with confidentiality, working independently without supervision, and whether I had issues with flexible interpretations of compliance requirements. The salary was 50% above market rate. I'd been job hunting for 4 months, so desperation made me overlook the warning signs. My first day revealed what Amy meant. The data analyst position was a cover. They had me creating fake customer accounts, generating false sales reports to inflate quarterly numbers, and backdating financial documents. By Wednesday, I was forging signatures on contracts and creating fictitious purchase orders. I called Amy during lunch Thursday. She told me all 3 previous analysts figured out the fraud within 3 weeks and threatened to report it. Instead of firing them, the executives offered $50,000 severance packages in exchange for signing NDAs and posting identical resignation messages to make it look voluntary. "They paid them off to keep quiet," Amy said, "and it worked. None reported it because they'd signed NDAs. Why are you still here?" "I'm just the receptionist. They don't involve me in anything illegal, but I've watched 3 good people get trapped and I couldn't let it happen again." I spent the rest of the week documenting everything, secretly recording conversations, photographing fraudulent documents, forwarding incriminating emails to my personal account. I pretended to participate while building a case. Friday of my 3rd week, the CFO called me into his office. "We've noticed you're a quick learner," he said. "We'd like to offer you a performance bonus." He slid a folder across the desk. "Severance agreement, NDA, and a check for $50,000. We think you'd be happier pursuing opportunities elsewhere. This is generous for someone who's been here 3 weeks." I looked at the check, at the NDA, at his confident smile. "I'll need to think about it over the weekend." His smile faltered. "This is time sensitive." "Then I'll have my answer Monday." That Friday afternoon, I submitted my resignation letter and a detailed report to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Recorded conversations, photographed documents, forwarded emails, everything. I never went back. Within 2 months, federal investigators raided Quantum Analytics. 4 executives were arrested for securities fraud, falsifying financial statements, and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Amy helped investigators by providing information about the previous employees and the pattern of payoffs. All 4 of us, me, Rachel, Tom, and Jessica, received whistleblower protections and SEC financial awards. The executives argued we'd all participated in the fraud, but evidence showed they'd systematically recruited people, trapped them in illegal activity, then paid them off to stay quiet. Rachel, Tom, and Jessica had to return their severance and testify, but avoided prosecution because investigators determined they'd been coerced. I ran into Amy 6 months later at a coffee shop. She'd gotten a job at a legitimate company with better pay. "Thank you for actually listening," she said. "I tried to warn the others, but they were so focused on the money, they didn't see what was happening until too late. Thank you for warning me. You could have stayed quiet." I almost did. But watching good people get trapped in bad situations and not saying anything makes you complicit eventually. Sometimes the most important career advice comes from the person who's been watching everyone else run for the exit.